All right. So that was early geared man. Probably like 98, 99 with Evil Eye Saw. There was another track on there called Was I Live? It's Evil Eye Saw. Was I Live? It's front and backwards. So, anyways, this one's on dating. Don't expect anything really. I mean, there's probably some poignant stuff in there since I've been married and I've been engaged, which ended here about almost a year ago. So, the best thing I can tell you is to be honest from the very beginning. From the very beginning, just be honest, man. That's the if you're if you're lying to people to make them like you, they don't like you anyway. Right? They don't like you anyway. If you have to say you like something that you don't like, if you have to take on interest that you don't really like, what you are is lonely. What you are is, if you're willing to do all that stuff, what you are is desperate. Guilty as charged. I'm not pointing fingers. That's the thing about you gotta learn about me. When I say stuff, there's often an implied, a lot of people think there's an implied guilt or judgment involved. I'm laying things out as they are. I believe in being honest. Like I said, I learned around 17 to not ask any question I don't want the honest answer to. Just don't ask it. If you don't want the honest answer, then don't fucking ask the question. And if you want the honest answer, accept the answer that you're given and then deal with it from there. Don't promise you won't get mad. Just, you know what I mean? Just accept the answer that you get. And from there, realize what truth you have in front of you, the reality you have in front of you. And from there, you can make your mind up a lot easier. But you can't do that when someone's fucking lying. When you're lying to yourself and whatever. And that goes, like I said, back to unresolved issues stem from unresolved blame. That does not mean that you are to blame. That means that you might be taking on blame you don't deserve. That could mean that you're not taking blame for something that you should take blame for. At least credit for starting the wheels in motion to a certain action, to a certain outcome. Because if you don't acknowledge that, how you were the catalyst to that, then you'll just catalyst another one, won't you? Because you're not accepting the truth. And so it's like, why do I keep finding insert problem? Because you're the catalyst to the problem. And everywhere you go, there you are. Take some time when you're alone. And God, it can be gut wrenching at night at times. You know what I mean? At night, especially when you're just alone, just completely fucking alone. But I mean, I've spent so many nights like that. It's ridiculous. I mean, from 18 on, man, you know, I just really didn't have anybody. Then I got married, and that was a whole fucking fiasco of 7 years. Got out of that shitty situation. Well, I'm still entangled in that shitty situation as my kids are still believing what she has to say, what she says with her mouth, as opposed to the court documents. And you know what? That's a different thing. I've got actual evidence of everything I say. But how do you fight that when your kid comes over and says, "Mom said you made all that up"? What do you fucking do, man? You got court documents with like fucking the letterhead stamped in. You know what I mean? How they do the official seal of the state. How do you explain that to a little kid? And by the time she's old enough now, she doesn't give a fuck about me. My son, I talked to him, I think, because she said she wasn't going to get involved in it, but she's involved. She's stepped her ass in the fucking way in the past multiple times. To the point I don't know if I'm talking to either one. When I talk to my kids, I don't know if I'm talking because I can't get them on the phone. So I don't know if I'm talking to them or if she's just texting, typing in text. Because yeah, she's that bad. She's that bad of a person. My relationship I was just out of there, it was like 17 years, but it was good, but there was an incompatibility of things, of ways of doing things. She had her way of doing things, and there was no compromise. Her idea of a compromise means nobody gets exactly what they want, but as long as she comes down on the 60-70 end, it's fair. If anyone else comes down on the 60-70 end, it's not fair. No matter how many times she comes down on the 60-70 end, it's just not fair. You got more. You got more last time, so you got more this time. And there's I just did for 17. You gotta understand, around 2010, 2011, I got on basically heroin, prescribed, Oxycontin, oxycodone, tramadol, muscle relaxer, benzo. Prescribed every day, covered by insurance, so I really wasn't going broke or anything like that. There was no way of going broke on this because, it's covered by insurance. I got a month's supply of Oxycontin for $3. Then all my other stuff was generic, so that was like a fucking $1.50 for a month's supply. And those tend to opiates satiate all of your problems, if you will. I won't say problems, but you have the problems, you just don't fucking care. It's kind of like, it's kind of what they did with the pain. It's kind of what they do with the pain. When you're high on opiates, you still got a broke ass fucking leg. You just don't fucking care. It kills the pain. Yeah, because you're so high. You're so fucked up. The last thing you can think about is your fucking stupid ass leg. I couldn't think about my neck and my back. There were before. I've been doing some adjustments and stuff, and I still, from time to time, have to adjust and whatever. But before, I couldn't sit still at all. And I'm still taking tramadol. So that still helps. But it has serotonin and an opiate. It's mild opiate. I'm getting off of that. That's the last one to get out of the system, and then I'm done. And I'm going to see how much I can go up on Lexapro to get it out. Because the main problem I haven't quit off of is because serotonin. I've had serotonin problems since a kid. But this is about dating, so... I can't help you in any way, especially in this world, in this generation, because I don't understand. I'm 48. I don't understand. I didn't understand the people around the time when I was coming up. I did not understand them. They were so full of shit. Everybody was so full of shit. And every now and again, you run into some really cool people, but for the most part, everybody's full of shit. Jumping from trend to trend to fucking trend to trend to fucking whatever, football game to football game, just fucking generic ass cookie cutter fucking lives and just bland, bland, bland. Then you every now and again you meet like a real person. It's like, holy fuck, a real fucking person, not a goddamn NPC. This is fucking crazy. But for some reason, they always have to seem to go away, at least for me. Probably I'm annoying. That's probably what it is, honestly. But you should be alone enough with yourself to know yourself. So when another person shows up in your life, the two of you aren't trying to figure out who the fuck you are. Only that other person has to. See what I'm saying? It's like a lot of women want guys to read their minds, and I get that. But ladies, you cannot want impossible things. I've heard women give, like, descriptions of what they want out of a guy, and it's all this shit that's in direct opposition. I want a guy who's attractive but doesn't know he's attractive. I get that, but if he's an attractive guy, wouldn't he know he's attractive by the number of people hitting on him? Right? So if nothing else, he's probably working out and keeping himself fit and whatever, and therefore he'd have some inkling that he's an attractive person. Yeah, well, I just don't want him to be cocky about it. Okay, cool. I want him to be confident. Wait. He's confident in thinking he's ugly? Uh-huh. Okay, keep going. Like a job that pays well? Okay, yeah. But doesn't keep him busy all the time. Doesn't exist. Oh, no, it doesn't. Like an entertainer or something. Yeah, they're... You know how many entertainers there are out there? And they're not just looking to fucking swing into town and just pick up some chick and then, whisk her off to a great life. They'd be smart if they did, because that person probably actually appreciate it. But that's why you probably see Hollywood marriages falling apart. Is because, especially like you got like an Oscar winner, and then you got like a Grammy winner, and you got these two fucking egos, and most people don't like tell that person no. Most people don't tell that person no. And you get in a room together, and they're both rich, and they tell it, like a no, I don't want, and then like no, you're supposed to say yes to the thing. Well, I don't want to. Well, then, get the fuck out of my house, and anybody else will be like, yeah, I don't want to get the fuck out. Let's go ahead and do it. And this person's like, fine, I've got a better house in France. You know what I mean? Because, you know what I mean? My house is like, I care. And there's just no incentive to really stick in there and fight for it. I mean, we barely find enough reason to fight for it in this, much less with public life, like someone that's very famous that's constantly getting like fan letters. The ego boost that you would have of like constant like emails and stuff coming in, people that's just like how much they want you and how bad they want to be with, how funny they think you are, how attractive they think you are, how intelligent you think you are. It's just constantly coming in all the time. It's kind of hard to respect. I won't say respect, but the way women, offensively, I might add, when guys give their woman a compliment and they go, you have to say that. I'm not a dog. You didn't train me. I say what I want to say. It's very offensive that you think I have like no choice. In other words, what you're saying is that you've made such a hostile environment that I can't be honest with you. Is what you're saying when you're saying you have to say that. You have created such a bad environment for this man that he cannot tell you honestly what he thinks about things because you'll lose your shit, and it's better to just lie to you than deal with that. And you know it because you say you have to say that. But rather than change your behavior, you just sink into the, well, you have to, and meanwhile start seeking validation outside of your relationship. Now you've planted in his mind that you don't actually mean the things that you say, if you say anything at all to him, which women are not really big about giving out compliments because they don't want their guy to get a big head, because if he gets a big head, he's going to go out there and, you know, some other woman's going to, you know, and he's going to be like, oh, I can get any woman I want. And then some other woman's going to, and no, it doesn't work that way. What happens is you give your guy a big head, and in his home, he is king of the fucking castle. And he's happy to be home. And then when he steps outside, every other woman treats him like shit, like he's been being treated like shit by every other fucking woman. But as soon as he walks in the door, hey, baby, it's so good to see you. You're home. Mwah. I'm home. Where I'm respected and I'm loved and I'm wanted. But you guys are, oh no, I'd hate for you to feel good about yourself. Especially going outside of my presence where you're going to obviously misbehave. What a trusting, loving relationship. You know, without trust, there can be no love. Again, my advice is going to be some old-fashioned-y shit, like if you're trying to get fucking married. Because it is my firm belief that no matter what anybody has to do or say, no matter how much of a body count they're trying to rack up, I hate that term. There's a lot of terms I hate, but I'll use them so that people know what the fuck I'm talking about. Deep down, even past all the tattoos and piercings and all the other bullshit, and all the lies and all the whatever, those people just want someone to love them for who they are. Inside, up here, this is just a decoration. Notice that almost everybody that's into certain things decorate their outside the same way. Metal scene guys get the plugs, get the nose, get the thing like that to signify to other people that I am not like those squares over there, or those, you know, jocks over there, or those hip hop guys over there, or any of these other fucking, I'm with that group over there, and they're a bit more hardcore and into some crazier shit. So if nothing else, you know, by looking at me, I'm a bit more into some crazy shit. Oh yeah, nipple clamps and hanging from the ceiling. Oh, swings, all kinds of shit. You just know looking at my patent leather boots that come up on fucking, you know, thigh high, and a dude in a bustier. You're in for a wild night. Oh, you're down? Come on in, man. We got whips over there. We got music over there. We got the hardcore industrial fucking music over there. We got some people from fucking Europe raving over there. Drugs everywhere. Go for it. Same time, soccer moms. The soccer mom band. I mean, there's a reason why the stereotypes of certain things exist, because they fit in a very, very loose and generalized. If you try to use that as a definition, that is very wrong. if you use a stereotype as a very broad, very, very loose, I mean, because think about shopping. From a marketing, wouldn't you have to kind of a little bit stereotype if you have those cards and those cards have like the name and the address and blah 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 and all that other shit on there? You'd have to somewhat stereotype by the name, infer certain things from the address, infer other things. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? If it's an address in what you know to be a poor part of town, you're not thinking, okay, this guy's got a lot of money. Are you? So that immediately eliminates, I'm sure your mind's already doing it. Especially with the I don't want to mess it up, but it's a Dariel. Immediately again, look how your mind automatically kind of like, guess who? You know what I mean? My guy has short hair. My guy doesn't have glasses. You know, you run out of safe stuff pretty quick, don't you? He's got nostrils. They've all got nostrils, dude. Like what skin color is? I don't see skin color. Dude, he's sitting right in front of you. He has to have a skin color. Oh, it's just flesh tone. Come on, man. Come on. We gotta get real about some shit if we're gonna be doing this shit. We have to get real about certain things. Especially if you're gonna be trying to bring people into this world, which is kind of what dating is. I don't care how you mix and match your shit. I really don't. I'm biracial. I don't give a fuck how you mix and match your races, how you mix and match your genitals. Here's one way that I'll say that you fucked up to the LGBTQ community as an ally, as a person from the cis side, assigning us anything. Bad move. You have to understand that these people consider themselves normal. You understand? By giving them a label other than normal, you're already throwing them. Most of them aren't listening. They're going to take it as derogatory as you doing something else. This is just the rules. This is just the way it is. If you want to make headway, I'm trying to help. I really am an ally. I don't care what combination you do. It's your body. I don't give a fuck. Okay? The second place where you fucked up on it was over-inclusiveness. Okay, now the community is not major. What you could have done easily is like a BET, LGBTQ TV, and then you can have like all the shit you want to watch. All of it. Soap operas, TVs, everything. You know, everything. I believe that streaming services fucked up by not allowing us, the viewers, to select our favorite things that we want to see and things that we'd rather not see. And I get how that Nazi, but you know, I mean, how things that we don't want to see. Why? Because those people out there, you're not going to reach them with a musical. You're not going to reach them with there's only a few ways to reach them. They are entrenched. They are not good. They're not moving. Showing them that there's nothing wrong, that it's all the same, is just going to further show them the differences. With integration, by showing black people in school, there's only a few there, and the rest are white. Like, see, it's normal. I'm like, take a look around. There's one down there, and like, you know, like one of those hallway shots, and one way down there. And you're telling me that half the cast of the nativity scene has to be African American? You see what I'm saying? That's where like the over inclusiveness. I'm not saying that don't start like a channel, a fucking, even if it start like this, you know, the YouTube channel or something like that starts out a little bit. See if you can't talk to a person like Ellen. See if she wants to be, you know, Ellen DeGeneres. If she wants to fund it, not necessarily be part of it, because her name being a part of it besides her money would probably be bad. Because she's not getting a lot of whatever. And even if she wants to be a silent partner, you know, I mean, like a lot of people care as long as it's, you know, it's done. And then later on, you find out Ellen was, and you're going to be like, oh, you motherfucker, all my favorite shows were funded by Ellen DeGeneres. And she may have written some of the jokes, and maybe she's not so bad. No one's complained about her, so I get, you know what I mean? No one's saying, like, oh, Ellen DeGeneres is running the LGBTQ community TV show, fucking program, and running it into the ground. It's prospering, it's doing well. Partner with Hulu so that you carry that channel the way that the, whatchamacallit, and maybe do it either, like, cheap or whatever. Maybe still have commercials, maybe not. There's lots of ways to do things that are not necessarily based on money. And those are the ways you can get shit done quick, easy, and to get it done right, you need to put a little bit more effort into it. Plain and simple, you have to put more effort and care into it. And then it may not come out professional, but it comes out more professional. Like if I was going to do, you know, like the transition. It's not all that amazing, but when I've got the music going and I've got my I got, you know, two MP3 players going on and stuff like that, I can get it going pretty smooth like a DJ, you know what I mean? But then you get to see me also while I'm DJing. DJ funky stuff, baby. So, yeah, again, I'm not trying to wag any fingers or whatever, but there are a couple mistakes that were made, you know, that could have helped. Unfortunately, with the Black Lives Matter, you actually helped the other guys. Because I don't know if you guys have a memory that far back, but I do. Cliven Bundy, the standoff, any information that happened there. Anybody remember what that was? Anybody? It was a dispute with the Bureau of Land Management, or the BLM. It was a situation where, like other situations, some of the elderly congressmen, if you watch from time to time, show up with a black eye. Often they say they fell down, something happened, but you know, it's kind of like an abuse. How do you fall down and bruise your eye? Not your shoulder, not your arm. You're not walking funny. Your eye is bruised. Oh, I fell off a ladder. The fuck was your 60, 65, 70-year-old ass climbing on a fucking ladder for? You're a goddamn senator. I'm sure you got someone to clean your fucking gutters. Get the fuck out of here. Who paid you a visit and why? And why are you now changing your mind on this bill? See, the thing is, you're not watching what I mean, you don't think I'm watching what I'm watching what you're doing. Last week you were against this bill. You show up with a black eye and you're like, you know, I've reconsidered my idea. Or at least change your stance. So you have an amendment that you'd be willing to compromise. Before is a hard and fuck no. So now when you search BLM, you're not gonna get building a Bureau of Land Management. You're not gonna get Clive and Bundy in the standoff. You're not gonna get what happened there. Harry Reid. You're not gonna get into that. You're going to get Black Lives Matter. And they fucked up by going Black Lives Matter. Because the automatic defensive is, ours don't. No one said that. You gotta slow down when you're doing these things and actually think of this as long term. Thinking long term. It only takes I get you want to strike while the iron's hot. But be malleable, especially at the very beginning. If you're doing LGB, whatever, be malleable. So that way, like, hey, man, we could get it. Like, yeah, and so that way no one's really used to all the letters and shit until you get it fucking nailed out. You get nailed down. We're a coalition for gay, lesbian, and other sexualities. The next mistake you made was, and I probably get hate all day long, and I don't give a fuck because I am right, and you can argue with me all day long. There are 4 genders possible: male, female, hermaphrodite or intersex, whatever that is, where you have both organs, and then having none. Those are the only 4 possible sexes that you can be born. Sexualities, those are the only 4 genders. Sexualities, sexual preferences, fuck. It's infinite. There are people that like to fuck balloons. There are people that don't like to, like, they get off by just rolling around on balloons. Do we really need to come up with a fucking title for that? He, she, whatever, likes to do it. As long as you're not hurting anybody and no balloons are getting strangulated in the process, you know, and he's not building up to something more, you know, intense, like going out and fucking a blimp, you know, dirigible. Oh, the humanity, he is still pumping as it goes down. You know, none of that shit. We don't want any of that shit. Fido, you know, you don't want that shit. Hey man, what are you doing on this daycare? You don't have any kids here. We don't want any of that shit. But, I mean, amongst consenting adults, I really don't see the problem. And to be honest, I think if you, as far as being emancipated, there should be an intermediary step. And kids should go through, like, it would be kind of a rite of passage. If you think about it, and the parents can sign off on it. we as parents tend to look at your kid as someone you have to protect your whole fucking life, and they're this little kid, and there's a little thing, and they're just always in danger, and they're always doing crazy, and they're always getting into and you can't, and you try and protect them from dangers. But no matter how much your parents try to protect you from dangers, you sure as fuck found them, and you have a handful of regrets, even a small amount. You have some regrets. That's life. That is life. I know you want to mitigate those for your kids so that they have none, but that builds character, man. It really does. If you look at the funniest people, the most talented in music, they often have the most tragic lives ever. I'm not saying it's the only way to get art, but that's the only way it seems to hear that it gets the best art. Is miserable situations, and as they get out of those miserable situations and start getting like therapy and stuff, their art suffers. No one else has noted this. I've noticed it over and over again. As someone gets sober, their music suffers. I'm not saying to not get sober. I'm saying maybe stop the music and be like, okay, man. I still like doing it. Maybe I'll do some guest spots and stuff, and you know what I mean. And at that point in time, you should probably like sit back and protect your brand, and try and like do more licensing and shit of your older music, and start doing like a tour of just like showcasing your older stuff every now and again. Write on something that's like really worth it, but don't like try and force a whole album out right now. Just do at that, once you reach a certain point, just keep writing the songs. And at a certain point, people are not going to tell you that's really not all that great. You can tell Iggy Pop that what he's got is not all that great. You can tell Paul McCartney what he's got is not all that great, that he should chill. Like, there's 3 good songs in this. The other 7 are pretty shit, Paul. Hey, Dave Grohl. Not this one, man. I would, because I'm a friend. I'm not a kiss ass, and I'm not a hanger on. If nothing else, I'd be like, I don't like that chorus. If I'm being honest, I don't like the chorus. It's just too plain. Too expected. Do something more, something more unexpected. Change tempo, change fucking key, do something. But that's just, it's kind of like the last song you guys just did. Do you want to be like, every song is basically formulaic? Then start changing the formula, man. If nothing else, by changing the formula, it may suck here, but then you might spawn a new idea. You know what we could do. And those are fucking great, man. They were trying to lay down a song that didn't even end up being on any of the albums. Led Zeppelin was trying to record a song that I don't think it ended up being on any. If it did, it ended up being later on. Nowhere near as well. And John Bonham, the drummer, frustrated, wanted to bang on something that he liked. And so he started banging out like a Little Richard type song, like and then Jimmy Page is and he goes in, then John Paul Jones comes in and Jones in. So the story goes. I could be wrong, I wasn't there. And then slowly but surely, Robert Plant started working on lyrics. And then they had been a long time. Been a long time, been a long time, been a long. That was because they were trying to do something else. And they said, fuck that, let's try something, let's just do something else. And the drummer's frustrated. And like the way Little Richard would start some of the songs, sometimes it'd be like on the backbeat. Coming on and so he's just doing that shit, just having fun. Trying to be one of the biggest songs in rock and roll, man. But in that way, stop expecting people that come into your life to fit a mold you've already got in your head. Okay? How many of you go out looking? You're not really looking for a date. You're red flag hunting. I've looked at some of these quote unquote red flags, and while some of them I do agree with, they're good to keep an eye out. You know, keep an eye out, and if you keep seeing these symbols and stuff. A lot of people like they see like a red flag, male and female, and just like nah, next, because that's kind of what this world is. Swipe left, swipe right, swipe left, swipe right. Like you, match with you. I got a date with you tomorrow anyway, so this one's not working out. So boom, because we're used to Netflix. Play for a few. I don't think I like this movie, and back out and go to the next one. Yeah, okay, let me watch this. No, and then you back out and go. How can you appreciate anything when everything has like about like 4 seconds to grab your attention and to make you want to be interested? 4 seconds. I mean, it's not like a whole long time, because I mean, if honestly, if you were to count out a actual minute, you'd probably be surprised at actually how long it actually is. Because not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. That's that. It's a long time. You can in 1 minute you can get a lot of information in, and if you're not paying attention, there's a way to like. I mean, we are all like trying to be, I guess, polite or whatever. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with us, but as people, as humans, we don't really say what we mean, and we sure as hell don't mean what we say. Which is a damn shame, because that's the whole purpose of making words come out of your face. There are like, innuendo and flirty times and whatever, but it doesn't have to constantly be a fucking mystery. Anything that's constant becomes boring. Constant, easy to tell becomes boring. Constant love making becomes boring. Constant fucking becomes boring. Porn stars, they do all the stuff that I was watching to be like, a thing about it, because I'm not just, a user. I'm also the president. I'm also the client. No. I'm just interested ever since I started watching this Real Sex on HBO. Because they weren't always about like just I'm like a kid like but they would like actually get into different stuff. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Studying sexuality and stuff. Okay, that's interesting. Didn't know that. Okay, cool. I know that. Didn't know that. Those Dr. Ruth type shows. There's a lady in Canada. I would watch that one. I really respected her because she would like get calls sometimes that seemed pretty much like they were a joke. Some guy like, got something stuck, like a Power Ranger stuck in his anus. And she's like, this may well be a joke. She'll disconnect the call and be like, this may well be a joke, but just in case for someone out there who may be suffering with this for real. And then she'll cover like, non-embarrassingly like going through it. Her perspective was definitely much female driven. Without consultation of guys. I mean, pretty obviously. There's nothing wrong with that. There's guys that do shows that don't consult women. But if you want to be an honest consultation, a person, you should at least have a female perspective to understand, and then maybe the two of you can come up with an understanding. Like, even if you're like, I don't think that's what it is, and like, I'm telling you that's what it is. Like, but okay, follow me here. What if it is like, and then they might go, that kind of does make sense. And you get a meeting of the minds. There's nothing wrong with that. No one has to win. The point is to not win or to beat the other person. It's to, two heads are better than one. To partner, to be together, to equality, man. If you're looking for a partnership that is unequal, make sure to put in your profile that you are the dominant one and that other person should be the submissive one. If that's what you feel. If you feel the guy should answer all of your fucking questions and you don't have to answer anything, just put down dominatrix. Because that's what you are. You're a terrorist. You don't announce it. You don't like to, you're looking out. No, I'm a good person. No, you're a bad person because you lie. You're not a bad person because of what you do. You're a bad person because you lie. You're a bad person because who you're presenting and who you are inside are two different things, and that's what we call a lie. And therefore you get someone who is not seeing, they're seeing this and falling in love with this, when you're what's inside here, which is a lie. You see? And now you're ruining other people's lives, whereas if you straight up said, I'm an asshole, if a guy was like, I'm an asshole, I do blah, blah, I don't date one woman at a time. You might get some calls from some women that are like, I like that. But if my dude can deliver, can you deliver? Because I don't want to have to deal with you, honestly. I'd rather someone else deal with all that emotional shit. I just need a good hour and a half, twice a week. Then I really don't want to see you. Sure, we can do that. Do you have any particular days? Because my fucking Mondays and Fridays are hardly currently booked. You might be surprised. But we're so worried about people accepting us as who we are that we lie and become someone else and then expect them to fall in love with us. How the fuck is that ever going to happen when they've never met you? Seriously, I'm not joking. How is that going to happen? They've never met you. They've met your angry representative telling them how they're doing things wrong, arguing about nothing. So many little nothings people just argue about. Dishes, how they're done, how the towels are folded. Things that they don't make any sense to argue about. Not when you're trying to be supposedly in love. Are you in love with the person or the way they fold the fucking towels? How they do dishes? What are you in love with? Because if so, you might want to get a maid. You might want to just get a dildo. Rather than bringing in a whole other person in this, since you're going to objectify men down to just the penis, while saying that men are disgusting for having sex toys. Or watching pornography while you read 50 Shades of Grey or whatever book that's got Fabio on the cover and some half-naked woman. Winds of Desire. Well, I don't watch people. No, you just make it up in your mind. They give you a full description, and then you make up their body, you make up their face, you make up their hair, you make up their butt, you make up their penis, you make up everything. And probably cast yourself as the main character for the female. But that's different. That's not real. Neither is porno. That's like watching through a window. Oh no, you guys keep going. Oh, you knew I was here? Okay, that's yeah, great, cool. No, just keep going. No, the other way you had her before you guys noticed me out here. Please, I don't mean to interfere. One's voyeuristic, the other one is like interactive. Shit. There's so much shit that could be resolved. You want to know why rom-coms work? Because almost every situation, if you watch in sitcom and whatever that has romance and whatever, almost every problem, almost every single problem could be resolved if the two people in love could just talk to each other in honesty without the other one freaking out. Watch all the sitcoms, Friends, all of them. If they could just talk to each other in a serious way, without the bullshit, without the clues, without the why can't you get it? I'm a stupid guy and I don't pick up clues. Guys, I would highly recommend learning. It's a skill to develop. It really is. It's a skill to develop and learn it. If you can. I mean, if you can develop it, learn it. You'll find out some interesting shit. A lot. We're not the only one. I know we're told we're the only ones that have like these double standards. No. There's double standards on both sides. It's kind of like, when people talk about like, white racism. As a biracial kid, the racism on both sides is entrenched and rooted. Again, now it's to a point now who started it. With men and women, all the problems that women face, men face their own version of that. It may not be as extreme, because the violence against women is a lot heavier as their physical size throughout history has been smaller. The ability to defend themselves has been a lot less, which is why often women look for a partner that can defend them, can offer protection, financial stability, whatever the fuck it is. A big burly guy, you'll feel safe. Because this is a fucked up world. And the thing is, like, you guys are sheltered. Women are often sheltered from a lot of it. I'm not saying always. Please don't take that way, because I fully acknowledge how fucking bad. And there's no excuse. There's no way to make up for it. Other countries have had female leaders. Cleopatra, Queen Elizabeth. On and on, man. We've had there's just other countries. Angela Merkel. We have no excuse other than we're just a bunch of fucking assholes. Just a bunch of fucking assholes. Margaret Thatcher. I mean, just on and on, dude. Everyone's had female leaders. Except America. They rather elect a 34-time felon and sexual assaulter than a woman that puts sexual assaulters behind bars, because she believes that if you are not necessarily, they framed it that she's trying to give transgender fucking reassignment surgery in jail. No. If you are a transgender person, you need to, and you commit a crime like anybody else. If you are a diabetic, we'd get you your diabetic medicine. If you were to go on cancer treatment, we continue your cancer treatment. If you were going whatever, and so if you're going through hormone replacement treatment, we should get them their hormones. Otherwise, it's cruel and unusual. Right? And we have laws against that. See, the thing is, especially with like Republican lawmakers, and they get their fucking followers to follow along with it for some reason, is that like all these rights are fucking great and fantastic until someone else wants to use them. The freedom of religion is a great thing until the Buddhists want to put up a fucking new temple. And even then you're kind of okay with it because it's Buddhist and they're Chinese and they don't really believe in like, whatever them. So I don't really understand, so I'm okay. Plus they're not known for like, bombing anybody. But a mosque, those fuckers bomb. Not every mosque like just goes out bombing everybody. I get it. I do. I get it and I understand. Well, they got it built so close to. Why does McDonald's build right across from Burger King? Always. You think that's a territorial pissing contest? You're talking about like the ultimate pissing contest. Whose God is right? You think that's why they put it in your neighborhood? So that as your church guys walk out, they might go, it's really bold of them to just put it right across the street. I mean, we're good old boys. We might come over there and shoot. You know what? Let's go over there and see what they're doing. And you might stop in. And then we'd see it like, oh, you guys are praying kind of weird. Oh, you're on the ground instead of in pews. Those pews kind of hurt my butt anyway. Is that like you guys got pillows? Music is kind of weird. But I can see how you can smoke a hash pipe and be like, bang, 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 bang. It's different, but once you get used to it, it's rather fucking beautiful. Because it reminds you that you're not at home anymore. Doesn't it? Or you're at least not in familiar territory. Which is scary. But it's also going to be cool because you got a lot you can learn because you don't know shit. It's kind of like the other one I was talking about, the huh? The reason the exists is because you're in a state of no matter how confident you were 5 seconds ago, something completely made you, no idea what the fuck's going on. I love a good huh? Especially when you see the eyes drop, like, yeah, so we're going down, and like, okay, so if we get the corridor going down there, and then like, hey man, your mom is a frog. Huh? What? Did you say my mom is a frog? Yeah. Is that like a drive-by heckle of a construction site? Yeah. But say my mom, what? How is that a heckle? I don't know. Anyways, fuck, what was I saying? What was I saying? Oh, we're building the corridor down the... So, pillow for this chair because it's starting to hurt my boudoir. That's not good. So get a pillow for my booty. Yeah, I mean, there's worse things to life than being alone. Use any time that you have alone to ask yourself as many like fucked up and disturbing questions as possible. Because we like to tell ourselves about how good we are, but we don't ever even mentally kind of go to that place. And of course, if we do mentally go to that place, we're always the hero, right? Oh man, if a guy pulled a gun at the grocery store, I would fucking chop his shit. And the gun comes out, and you just piss yourself like everybody else. I wouldn't care. I'd step up and live into that, even if I died, so I could get everybody else out. I would tackle the guy. No. And if you actually sat at home and thought about it for a bit, no, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. Not for some strangers. Maybe for like some people that you deeply, deeply love, but not for some strangers. Some people would. I don't want to take away from anyone that would, because there are people that would, but they're a minority. Whereas a majority of people would ask, I do it. Oh, fucking yeah, because you're in this classroom. We're in this hypothetical room, hypothetical area, where you don't have to prove nothing. I guarantee that's named, like, if it was like lecture hall, that teacher breaks out an AK-47. Okay, everybody line up. Everybody raise their hand. Line up over here. Oh, no. You raised your hand. You volunteered. Come step over here on the fucking line. Even if it was a fake. If it still had that, like, clear. All right, now go up and stand over here. You volunteered. You said you would. Either that or start killing all the fucking people in here. Wanna, but you said you would. There's no hesitation when I asked who would do it. You said you fucking would. Now don't hesitate and get your ass up in the line. But, yeah. That, and then we expect other people to put our lives, looking out, our lives got to be more important than their lives. Whatever they're doing is nowhere near as important as what you want to do. And if you actually look at it, a lot of people in a lot of relationships don't respect the other person, like, at all, really, or that much. Which would explain the high divorce rate. Because it's very easy, especially after years of being around someone, to take them for granted they're just going to be there. You have fights and arguments, but it always patches up and gets back together, right? And then there's no way that person's going to go, okay, what do you mean? That's enough. We're done. You have to go. Dude, at fucking 48. I don't know how much time I have left, and I don't want to spend it arguing and being unhappy. I could die in my sleep from AFib and having been through a stroke, and what? And why? It's really weird because, like, oh no. Had I known it was gonna go the way it was gonna go, I would have pulled it in August and just called it good and let it die there. But I don't know. after you've been in a relationship for a certain amount of time, it feels kind of like betrayal to yourself. You've invested so much and so much time and so much effort and everything that, like, what were these last like 17, 18 years about, if not that? Because I mean, that's pretty much all my life's been about. I don't know what the fuck your life's been about. Apparently not, but that's what my life's been about. And apparently I was alone in that. So that's enough time. Like I said, sobering up from 2010 to right around COVID. I mean, I was just all day, every day. Fucking gone, man. When they added Percocet in there, that was it. Percocet. Percocet was my friend. They just the oxycodone, oxymorphone. Those work for me. The hydros don't work. Like I said, they're probably chiral. There's probably oxy and a hydro. This one is oxy, which is oxygen, and hydro is like hydrogen. So there's probably, like I said, they're probably chiral versions of the same shit. Some work for some people, some don't work for other people. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm just guesstimating on shit. But it's just weird that there's two different types of opiates. There's two different types of weed, indica and sativa. There's a hybrid, of course, which means it probably is a hybrid opiate, but neither here nor there. It just seems like there's always give and a take. But on your profile, I know it's like, you're trying to whatever. It'd be best to just put like what's about you if you're gonna do a dating profile. About you. Like things about you. If you have kids and there's whatever, then to put that in there. I have kids. If that's the deal breaker, then that should be like your first like kind of opening. You don't have to say that they're your life, because that's kind of given. If you're a mom or a dad and your kids are not your life, then you're not a mom or a dad. You're a babysitter at best, neglectful fucking parent at worst. So as soon as I see my kids are my life, I'm like, okay, you feel the need to announce that. So that's apparently like an option for you. So I'm not interested. Oh, I get some guys are probably like, hey, can you maybe get I get, because people are selfish and whatever. You don't want to deal with them. So just fucking tell them to fuck off. I don't want to waste my time. Who does? Like I'm looking forward to wasting my time all day. Boy, I can't wait to find someone who's going to waste my fucking time. Invest about 2-3 months in this person just to find out that they've been lying for 3 months while I get to know their representative, while they try and sneak themselves in little by little, and so they can swap out this representative that I do like with this person that I have never met before. And then I'm supposed to be, they get mad at me that I don't like this person I've never met before. We're the same. No, you're not. First off, that person didn't give a fuck about a lot. They were a lot cooler about things. Because this is only 5 minutes late. That's no reason to be fucking freaking out like you're doing. So who the fuck are you, and where the fuck did that person I meet go? Because they were like, oh, it's 5 minutes, the thing, traffic and stuff. Why don't you leave earlier? It's just weird how things change. Like, again, if you meet a lovely lady friend and you have a good date and you have a good second date and you start dating exclusively and whatever, and then around year second, 2, 3, to show where you're still fucking interested, you sex text her or fucking, whisper some really, really naughty shit in her ear. He still loves me. Oh. Same guy, date number 2, says the exact same thing in your ear. Pig, get the fuck away from me. Like, look, you don't understand. I'm going to be here 10 years from now. I'm like, no, you're not, because we're not going out on another date. You're going to say that to me on the second date? Get the fuck out of here. Same words. Now there's a history. What if you already saw that in the future? You know, that's where he already was with you mentally. That's where he wanted to be with you in the future already. He's already planning your kids and the marriage, and he's already seen all that shit. So he just wants to fucking just jump to that. And like the next step would be to, like, you know, if you didn't freak out, to be like, we got to get married. I see it. I see it. We should just get married. First off, you didn't get pissed off about that, so you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And you're okay with it? Yeah. Yeah. That's what I saw. I saw us doing this and, like, you know, same thing in 10 years. Are you proposing at the Waffle House? I am proposing to you at the Waffle House, ma'am. Can we get some extra syrup over here? We're going to need it. To go. To go. A little cup. Some butter, sure. You never know. Gonna get DJ Funky Stuff up in here. Oh, yeah. This is DJ Funky Stuff. I play nothing but the funky stuff. In the world. I've always loved that. One man stands alone. I don't want to be alone, but he has to be. Okay. I don't know why I do skits like that. I just love doing it. That would be great. Where am I? In a world where a man doesn't know where he is. Who is that? Asking far too many questions for his own good. Okay, that sounded ominous. Good. I chose this voice just to sound extra ominous. For you see, this is a horror movie. We started out as a romantic comedy. We said, fuck that, we want this in blood. The first romantic comedy horror movie you've ever seen. Fuck that, I want to see blood. You guys still need me to stick around or what? No. There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's, man. There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's. Did you know that? I mean, if you put it in your butthole, I think that would be kind of inefficient, but it still wouldn't be wrong. Is that wrong? Is it wrong? I've eaten like 15 that way so far. Today. No, that was a dream. Never mind. Yeah, it was a dream. Relationships over the years have gotten to be more and more female centric and less involved with the guy at all. And yet women are wanting guys to participate in this farce for what? I mean, just let's take a look at. I know things are starting to change a bit, but let's take a look at, like, from '80s to now, and how bad it's been getting, and how bad it is, and what. So, this guy proposes. If he is in love, there's like no, pardon me, no guarantee that she will stick around. If she doesn't stick around, there's 100% guarantee that he'll be blamed. If she cheats, he wasn't attentive enough. If she's bored, he wasn't around, he didn't satisfy her needs. And if he cheats because she's not satisfying his needs, it's not that, she didn't satisfy his needs, it's that he's a dog who can't control his penis. She's not a bitch. He's a dog. And the female dog is a bitch. She's not a bitch. You can't control her going into heat. She just wasn't satisfied by him. You see the difference? You're still blaming him for your shitty behavior. You could still say, hey, you're not satisfying me, and let's break up. You don't have to cheat. But, whatever. So we got that going. Then you got the fact that because women have vaginas that incubate the child, no matter their behavior, where's the lighter? They are looked at as being the more viable parent for the child to have a good life. Even if the dad is providing the finances, like, okay, good, then you'll provide the finances for both houses, your house and their house. And then your kids will be plenty taken care of. Why can't they live with me then? Well, you're working. Right, she's not working, so that's not really a good example to set for the kids to just sit around and not work and collect a paycheck. I'm gonna get a job. Well, how are you gonna watch the kids? And what? So if you're gonna get a job, then how come they can't stay with me? Well, she has a vagina, so I mean, she's obviously gonna be the better parent. I went through it. So, then there's a possibility that, again, with the divorce, half of everything you've ever made in your life, if you haven't prenuped your way out of it, which of course kind of takes a lot of the romance out of the whole marriage, when you're like, hey, I love you so much. Could you just sign this thing here that you won't betray me? I think there should just be an automatic thing when you're going into a marriage that you leave with whatever you came in with, and you have only access to anything that was built while you were together. Anything before that, you're not entitled to at all. There's no way a guy that became a famous musician, basketball star, whatever the fuck it is, or female, 20 years ago and is still living off that money very nicely, and then you come into their life well after they've been established, fuck around for like a year or two, and then walk away with half of everything they own. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out. I got used to it. We'll get used to being back on fucking Skid Row. How about that? How about that? So you got used to fucking going to like these parties with fucking famous people. So you get to continue to go to these parties with famous people, even though the only reason you got to go to those parties with famous people was because of me. Fuck you. Again, what incentive is there for guys? You much more hear of a guy having to pay alimony, child support, yada, yada, yada. than you do about a woman. And when you do, what do you hear? Deadbeat. Oh, what a piece of shit. Oh my God. I mean, and then he gets the kids so he can make her have to pay more money. That's not the same thing the woman did. File for custody of the kids so that way the guy can't get custody. Usually planning this shit beforehand, getting us some escape money. She knows a good 6 months ahead of time before she's even told the guy 100% that it's over. There's been hints and whatever around it. Things have got to change or we're going to have to break up. Okay, well, I'll work on what I can. What do I need to work on? And like, a small part of the list, not the whole list. So that way you still have something to fucking bail out on, don't you? But you didn't get to this, you didn't get to this, you didn't say anything about those. I shouldn't have to. I'm leaving. Oh, and I've already cleared out the bank account. And I've already filed for custody. Filed for custody. We haven't decided none of that shit. Well, they're going to be living with me. It's a lot of fucking decisions you make. Everything else is supposed to be, remember, it's supposed to be a we decision and us, and you can't think about you. But it seems like for at least the last 6 months, you've been planning on you without including we or us or me in this at all. Not that I've ever been hit with that, but what I've been seeing on the internet now that I'm watching stuff is that women are known for squirreling away any extra cash they get from the dude. So they have like an escape plan. Here's another idea. Have your own shit. Then you won't feel the need to steal someone else's hard work or feel entitled to it because you laid on your back. Oh, you weren't there for the sex also? Only he got the sex, right? Now, if only he got enjoyment out of it, then why do you want to keep the kids? They don't bring you enjoyment? And did you make those by yourself? No, I get that you had an egg and you had the incubator system. Now, it would have been me if nature had set me up that way, but nature didn't set me up that way, so it was you. There was not like a choice, and you said, I'll do it. I'll save my husband from having to do the stretch marks and all that other shit. I will gladly sacrifice myself. I will. No, honey, no, honey, no. You had the last two. Gotta stop patting yourself on the back so hard. You're gonna break your fucking arm. When a bird flies, all the other birds don't go, oh, it's such a miraculous. It's a miracle. It's so miraculous. No, they push the baby birds out. Get your fucking ass out of here. Fly or fall. Fly or fall. There you go. Flying on your own. Yeah, go ahead and land. But you didn't smash in the ground, did you? How do you get back up here? Take a wild guess how you get back up here. Oh, then maybe it's time for you to find a new home. We go into these relationships expecting the other person to fix all the holes in our lives. And while that is possible, it is a horrible thing to expect. Especially when all those holes in your life, that person is not privy to, has no idea, didn't do them, there's not the responsibility. This person is not your therapist. They're not your parents. They're not your ex. This is a whole different person, unless you are in the midst of a fucking trauma cycle where you pick the same fucking asshole again, blaming guys. Oh, those guys are out there. And you seem to keep picking them. Mainly because they probably have the look you want, where a look like I have is not the look that fucking women want. It's just not. It isn't. It never has been, probably never will be. And that's whatever it is. I've been alone for most of my life. That's whatever. And then even in relationships, no one's ever understood me any fucking way. So, yeah, I've been alone my entire life. So, yeah. I remember being in high school, and I'm like writing my poetry and stuff like that, and then, you know, girls in class asking to read it and stuff, and oh my God, that's so sweet. I wish my boyfriend were like you. I'm single. It can be just like me. You can be, oh, you mean you wish I looked like your boyfriend, the football guy? That's what you really mean. You wish he wasn't a meathead who likes to tackle people and, you know, grunt on top of you for a few minutes before having a seizure and then leaving you unfulfilled and, you know, pregnant before you fucking graduate. Is that what you mean? Actually takes your feelings into consideration. Yeah, you're not going to get one of those from that dating pool. You're not going to get it. Every now and again, there may be one or two, but generally speaking, that pool is way too shallow for deep dives. You'll break your face trying to dive into that pool. But, yeah. My advice would be honest. Be yourself. Be unafraid to be alone. If you get a bad feeling, get the fuck out. There's no harm. What if you miss what? You know, there's with exes, they've, you know, I mean, like, women love to do this shit. Whatever's happening and there's nothing really going on or whatever. And then you throw out a joke that's taken the wrong way, or you're serious about something and they don't like it at all. And like, well, see, I was gonna fuck you. And I'm like, shut up. No, you weren't. Yes, I was. And like, no, you weren't. You were never going to fuck me. If you were going to fuck me, that comment definitely wouldn't dissuade you from it. Sorry. You know what I mean? If it was going to happen, it was going to happen. It's going to happen. It's not. There's nothing to stop. It's kind of like how we met. There's nothing to stop us from meeting and from whatever. Here we are. You mean to tell me that something? No. You stopped you from doing whatever the fuck you were gonna do. Pride, whatever the fuck. Stop projecting whatever shit you have onto other people. A lot of things that we do is because we look at those people as an extension of ourselves rather than being their own person. So whatever rationale you would have for doing the behavior they did is the rationale you apply to them. And then you end up with a personality profile of this person that isn't them at all. I can't tell you how many times I've been told, I know you, and then list some shit that is completely not who I am at all. Oh, I know how you think. No, you don't. You have no fucking clue how I think. If you think I think at all like that shit, you have not been paying attention for however long it's been now. You have no idea who I am at all. Just fine. Nobody does. No one pays attention. No one cares. No one gives a shit. And this, because most everybody is in it for themselves. No one gives a shit. No one pays for like the small details and. But that's what love is, isn't it? When you pay attention to the small details. Because the small details are the things that matter. It's not the big, broad picture. It's the small things. When someone positions a picture a certain way. Why? They want to see it better. Why? It means something to them. Why? You see what I'm saying? You keep going through, and now you start figuring out why that person feels that way. But at surface glance, man, you're very particular about why you want that fucking picture, and then you move on. Now you've cast them as being because only reason you would put that much effort into that picture, just being an anal asshole. But if you ask them, like, oh yeah, that's a picture of my grandmother. It's the only picture I have. No, that kid right there, that's me. And that's the only picture I have of me and my grandmother. And I don't know, I just, even though she, that's the only time I ever met her, but I feel like really close to her. Okay. You know what I mean? You start to understand that person a little bit better. And start to know why they do little things that they do. It literally is the small details. We gotta speak more plainly. We've got to be more like, okay, so, and this isn't about relationship or anything like that. There's a my cousin's fiance, girlfriend. I'm not sure what they are right now. She was walking around. There was like this kind of campus area there, and we had the whole fucking area for like ourselves for almost a week. And it's like it could handle like a lot of people, but it was just us, so it was really cool. So we had the whole place to ourselves for like a long time. Like the last few days, family showed up, and then like the last day we were there, like a bunch of people showed up, and we just bailed out anyways. But she was walking around. There's a girl walking around, and she had one sock on. And I go, why one sock? And she starts listing off all these fucking, things I could tell. Oh, I hurt my foot. I'm like, no. Why one sock? And then she's like, and then she goes on to something else. I'm like, no. Why one? Oh, I don't like socks. I'm like, there you go. That's the answer. Do you see how much shit we went through? All this other bullshit. Why one sock? I get you're wearing one. You probably either the dirt's hurting your foot or you have a hurt foot. But why not cover the other foot to keep it from getting hurt? You see what I'm saying? I can infer why you have socks on out in the dirt. I'm not fucking stupid. So yeah, I mean, it's just We could just skip a lot of the bullshit and just be honest with each other. And then therefore you don't have like 4 or 5 months. And then I thought I knew you. No, you would know on the first date if everybody stops fucking lying. No, you shouldn't talk about it. Why? Why shouldn't you talk about what you want on the first date? You know how much time that would save? You shouldn't talk about wanting kids. Why? Why? If that is a goal that you want, oh, I don't want to scare people. It would scare them away anyways, wouldn't it? 3 months in, 4 months in, 5 months in. Well, I mean, what if he what? Changes his mind about not wanting kids? Is that what you're scared of? Losing a guy who might change his mind about whether or not he wants to have offspring. And whether he might want to have it with you or whether or not he's just fucking around. What are your plans for your own life? Be part of your own life. I'm 25. I'd like to be married somewhere around 30. Okay, start asking if these people want to fucking have kids. And if they don't, if that scares them off on the first date, fuck them. They're not people you... If some girl asked me, you want to have, you know what I mean? I'm 48, but if I was at 25, you know what I mean, and met with a girl at 25, you want to have kids, I'm like, I mean, someday maybe, but I mean, this is a kind of a crazy world to bring children into. I mean, it would need some consideration to make sure. But I mean, if I was with the right person, yeah. Why is that off? Why is off limits? Why would that scare anybody away? You're not going, hey, would you have kids with me like next week? You're not saying that. Yeah, at least I hope not. Jesus Christ, that's kind of psycho. The first date, hey, will you have kids with me within a year? Because I want to be married within like 30 years. By the time I'm 30, I want to have at least 2 kids, and I'm 25. So we probably would have to start fucking. Like, are you into this, or you want to be married? Because if not, we can call this date. And even then, you're just being honest. Isn't honesty the best fucking policy? Maybe we stop lying. We stop having so many fucking divorces. I don't know. That's just me. Just me. Just an old man